All right, we got some cool new knives on the table in front of me right now, and some of them even fall apart. But it's a good thing. What do I mean by that? Stick around. All right, before we get to that thing I talked about right before that thing, oh, hey, David C. Anderson from the KnifeCenter here. Good to see you.
Is that who you are?
Thomas behind the camera, as always. Before I get to the falling apart, breaking apart knife thing, usually I try to have some sort of like through line to the order of knives I show you, some kind of segue between things. But the first thing I'm going to show you here, I couldn't figure out how to segue it. I had nothing. So it's just going to be on its own here at the beginning. But I really like it. It's the Armiger 2 bottle opener from Demko Knives. I love this little thing.
A bottle opener is your segment opener.
Yeah, but how do I segue to the other thing?
It's open.
Yeah, I guess. So this is, the handle from the Armiger 2 knife, but instead of a knife blade, and for a couple bucks cheaper, 18 for this, you get a bottle opener, cap lifter / pry bar flathead screwdriver. And I love it. Like, it's just really cool. Injection molded handle, rubberized, so you've got grip. You've got definitely enough leverage for your bottle opening and a nice, thin enough pry bar here. I say thin enough because I consider that a good thing. At least the tip is thin enough to actually wedge into and pry open some things, or of course drive flathead screws. Do I need to go much further into why this is cool?
I probably could have used that as a neck knife while bartending.
That would have been perfect for that. Oh, it also has the little wire stripper notch. Like it's very clearly inspired by like the Victorinox Swiss Army style of cap lifter tool. If you don't like it already, nothing I say is going to make you like it. If you like it already, you knew at first glance that it was awesome. Here it is. I think it's awesome. Comes with a sheath right there. It's an ambidextrous sheath because it can go both ways, don't you know? Now, technically, there are little grommets here, so you could theoretically rig up some kind of clip if you wanted to carry that inside a pocket or whatnot, or you could just neck carry it or clip it to any other bit of gear with the little clippy clip right there. That's a technical term. Look it up. That's a clippy clip. Moving on. That's cool. Now, these knives fall apart, but only when you want them to. Did I give away too much already? Perhaps. Here's two new Remette knives. We have the Disassembly, hint, hint, and the RT-Agile. It's about $293 for the Agile. Oh, sorry, it's the RT-Agile Peregrine Falcon. It's about $293 for the Peregrine Falcon, $405 for the Disassembly. Both of these are pretty cool. M390 blades on both of them, 3.36 on the Disassembly. What's the other one? 3.38, yeah, virtually the same between the two. Titanium handles on both, of course, as well. You can pretty plainly see that. And the coolest thing about them is no visible screw hardware on the handles themselves. Very, very clean in their presentation overall, which is just very, very cool. Okay? Let's start with the Disassembly. You do have a liner lock here. You've got good flipper action and a good thumb stud action with nice gold accents to go with the black finish on the titanium. It's kind of almost a graphite finish, not like deep black. But both of those work really well. Hollow grind on the drop point blade here, which is pretty cool. Milled pocket clip secured from the inside. In fact, everything is inside. Looks like an integral, right? It's not. Check this out. There's a little guy right here. If I pull that down, good sound, right?
Good job.
The back strap, if you want to call it that, lifts off the knife. So you can see the edge there. I wouldn't carry it like this, of course. But then you now see the pivot hardware. If it needs adjusting, that's how you get into it. There is another screw right here holding the two sides together. And that is, once you take that off, that's how you'll be able to get to messing around with the pocket clip as well, even though you can't see the hardware from there. Pretty cool, right? Yeah, it's less of a, it's not something that like makes it easier to clean or do anything like that. It basically just gives you that super clean aesthetic in that closed position, or in that assembled configuration. And I think it is just very, very cool. And once it's put back together like this, it feels like, and I mean this in a good way, it feels like just like every other premium flipper out there. The tolerances are nice and tight feeling. The flipping action is great. The fit and finish is spotless. It's awesome. The Peregrine Falcon also has a similar, but not quite similar trick up its sleeve. It doesn't have the backstrap type of thing going on, but let me close it with the nested liner lock right there. We have reverse flicking with the blade cutout, thumb opening, of course. Front flipping, I don't know why I always have such a problem with front flipping. Works fine for some folks. The way you disassemble this, the front scale is essentially easily removable, and it's with this little gubbins right here. If I push that down, I can slide the front scale forward to reveal that. Once you're opened up, you can then get to that pivot hardware there for any adjustments that may arise over time. You've also got the screws that hold the backspacer and the two sides together right there. Or I guess the backspacer on one side, because these just kind of notch into the front side of the scale right there. Or they don't even notch into it, actually. They just kind of sit there free. These are the keyhole notches that the posts on the front side go into. You can see there the pocket screws for the clip are right in the back here. And the reverse side doesn't do the same thing. It is constructed so that it mimics the look of the front, but this back one does not slide off. You would actually have to unscrew these pieces if you wanted to do any messing around with the other, or the liner on the other side. Pretty cool. Not quite as cool as the disassembly, but it's also a fair bit cheaper. So, but then when you go to put it back on, it's simply kind of the reverse thing. You push forward, in and back. Clips right into place. And then you got a great premium knife. Very cool. All right, if you want a premium knife and you don't care about hiding your pivot hardware, got something here for you. This is a new concept. This is the Tarkin, a Matthew Christensen design. $211 and some change for this particular one. But the series starts at $190. 180 for a kind of a more plain Jane version of the knife. You've got 20 CV for the blade steel. You've got titanium for the handles, flamed finish on this one, of course. There's a Damascus blade option if you prefer that. Blade is about 3.36 inches long and technically a tanto, but basically a drop point going on. Or is it technically? Yeah, technically that spine is straight as opposed to dropping down, but it's going to behave sort of like a drop point when you actually use it. Even though you have the defined point of transition there with to qualify it as a tanto blade, it's very gentle, and the leading edge is all belly there too. Like it's going to cut like a drop or a clip point typically will. Feels good in the hand. It's got enough there to be big when you need it to be big. It's not really a small knife, but it is going to be a pretty easy to carry knife. It's slim enough, slender enough that it's not going to present any real problems for most folks, I would say. We got a milled pocket clip. We've got a frame lock. We've got two opening methods. The ambidextrous thumb plate there at the spine, which also works for your reverse flicks. We've also got a front flipper. Haven't tried this one yet. Let's see how badly I fail this one. Didn't even get anywhere with that, did I? There we go. Why, oh why, front flippers, must you taunt me? Cool knife, though. Feels nice and premium. The price, as with a lot of concepts, is not astronomical compared to the level of quality that you do get there. That's really where they kind of make their their value proposition known across the brand, between this as well as their more affordably priced offerings too. I have a few of those to show you now, which are coming in under their Tenable sub-brand. The first is the Beaver. This is your purple and black G10 version, but a few different flavors of G10 are available, as well as an aluminum-handled version. I actually much prefer the G10 version. Just something about this compared to the way the aluminum feels in the hand. The G10 just feels a little better in my opinion. how do I describe why exactly? I don't know, these feel a little more refined, a little more finished than the aluminum versions of this knife do. Your mileage may vary, of course. If you like the aluminum, go right ahead, of course. Price on these, $50, $49.89 for the G10 versions, or $57 or thereabouts for the aluminum versions. You get a Nitro V blade, 3.4 inches long, kind of a modified sheep's foot going on here. What does the website call it? They call it a drop point blade. That would not be incorrect, but it feels kind of sheep's footy in character-ish. Nitro V, of course, is going to give you good toughness, especially on a budget knife like this. That durability is going to come in quite nicely for heavier use, and it holds an edge pretty well, too. Deep carry pocket clip, almost completely deep carry. Reversible for left or right use. The crossbar lock, of course, also allows left or right use with finger-safe closing action, which we always appreciate. Yeah, it's got some good working vibes to it. May not be the prettiest looking thing in the world, that's my opinion, of course, but it looks like it would be extremely useful and pretty rugged feeling as well. So while the Beaver feels, rather industrious and hardworking. You like how I did that? It's the name, it's like a beaver.
I'll chew on it.
Thank you, sir. This next knife, a Justin Lundquist design from Tenable/Kansept, feels a bit more inspired by, quote unquote, just a pocket knife. Not trying to be a big, heavy use, heavy duty bruiser. It's just a good basic pocket knife. And I use the word basic very, very complimentary, in very complimentary fashion right here. Nitro V steel as well. Starts at $56 for G10 or Micarta versions. This one right here is running about $70 with the white and black carbon fiber for the handles. And unfortunately, with this particular version, you can see some signature elements of the Lundquist's design language that he's used with knives with various companies, but they are kind of hidden by this particular handle material. So you can check out the full pictures, of course, at the link below. But what do we got here? The blade is 3.13 inches long, nice straight clip point with a high flat grind, not too thick, not too thin, slicey enough and durable enough too. We've got a single position deep carry pocket clip on the right side and a nested liner lock for security right there. And conventional opening. It's funny to think of flippers as being conventional opening nowadays, but I'd say that applies with nice snappy action. But overall, it's a pretty clean shape overall. Yeah, I'm kind of revising my initial statement here. I said it was a bit more just general pocket knife, but the blade steel has enough kind of thickness to it, especially with the toughness of the Nitro V steel, to be a little heavier feeling in use. And the handle is not exactly skimpy either. It's got enough thickness and enough height here to be pretty hand-filling when the need arises. The tip, of course, is very narrow, so I wouldn't go prying with the tip. But yeah, you could probably use this a little heavier than I may have initially led you to believe. But you still have this nice clean profile and a nice clean detail here too. Just a single barrel screw or barrel spacer here at the back, holding the two sides together. That and the pivot is it. So a nice clean pass-through construction that's going to be very easy to keep clean as well. Yeah, pretty cool overall. All right, next up, we got a new version of the Launch 19 from Kershaw, which has the same blade steel as the handle on the Tenable. Not really, but
no.
I actually really like this piece of Damascus on this one. It is Alabama Damascus for the blade, which is a relatively simple carbon steel Damascus formulation there. So if you want higher performance than this, CPM 154 is available on the standard versions of the Launch 19. That's going to give you more toughness than your standard 154 CM because the particle metallurgy process allows it to be stronger in that regard. Or you can go with the cool Damascus version, which we've got here. Carbon steel Damascus, so make sure to keep it clean. Don't let it rust on you. But I really like the layering on this particular example. Each one, of course, is going to be a little bit different. Handles are aluminum, American made here in the Kershaw factory, as you can see. The front side, we've got aluminum and carbon fiber here at the back, and that's actually a split handle. That's not an onlay on top of the aluminum. It is a separate piece right there. Action is awesome on these, which we've come to expect from the launch series, of course. Works exceptionally well, especially when you consider the price on these. This Damascus version is more expensive than the CPM 154. We're at about $227 for this, $168 for the CPM steel version, which when you compare that to the prices of the bigger players or some of the most well-known players in the side opening automatic knife genre, it's a really good price, and you're not giving up any real quality either. Very, very nice feeling. Good grip on the handle. You've got a forward finger choil if you want to choke up a little further. Nice, very acute tip there with just a little bit of belly. If you like this shape, but don't really like the automatic factor going into play here, check out the new version of the Kershaw Bel Air. It has a similar blade shape to this and a non-automatic crossbar locking mechanism. Deep carry pocket clip with reversibility on this knife as well. All right, next up, we'll lean into the tactical train of things a little bit. Automatic knives that we just talked about, of course, are traditionally thought of as more tactical, but nowadays they're just as many just EDC-friendly, general use pocket knives wearing automatic skin. This, I would say, bridges the line nicely. But the Karsumba S from Toor Knives leans more tactical than EDC-friendly, but it's a karambit with a kind of EDC-friendly drop point shape, wouldn't you say? I would.
All the lines are blurred now.
That's the thing, man. $295 for this knife, made in the US, 2.5-inch drop point blade, M4 blade steel. So powder metal, very tough. Not stainless, but you've got this really very clean, very evenly done gun coat finish on this, KG gun coat, which we had on some exclusive Sebenzas there for a little while. It's a very tough coating, and it looks really good in this gray against the black G10 with just a little hint of green for the liners, like a little forest green almost. Maybe not forest green, but it's got a little bit of blue in it though. It's really cool, actually. I like that combo. As for amount of grip in the hand, I have slightly larger than average hands, and I'm fitting on this quite nicely. I've even got maybe a little hint of room to spare if needed. I don't, but if you do, there you go. The standard grip for the karambit, which is a inverted grip, or a, what is that? That's the reverse grip. Sorry.
Got us backwards.
The standard non-reversed reverse style grip of a karambit feels good. Allows you to bring the edge of that, or the tip of that knife forward nicely. And I think that's really well done because it kind of bridges the gap as well, blurring the lines between traditional hawkbill shapes on a karambit with this more EDC-friendly shape. The point on this sits at a similar place to where a hawkbill blade might, allowing you to use it with kind of the same practiced maneuvers if you're into that sort of training and tactical usage. Or if you want to flip it around and use it like an everyday knife, it's a little more usable as an everyday knife, I would say. Points really naturally too if you wind up wanting to point towards a target this way in that type of grip too. Very cool. The sheath is Kydex with a soft fabric lining, which keeps the sound to a more minimum, so it's less rattly as you put it in the sheath, which could be nice in a tactical scenario. Yep, okay, just make sure I'm putting it in correctly. Doesn't come with belt attachment or any kind of attachment hardware, however. You'll have to supply your own, but a standard tech lock will work with these two holes or these two holes, depending on how you would like to orient your clip. Next up, we have a limited edition from Dawson Knives. This is the Creed, designed to kind of sit alongside the War Dog and Woe Dagger limited edition releases that were put out recently, which you can also find at the site. 4.5-inch drop point blade, Magna Cut steel. This is the part where we should do like the Pee-wee's Playhouse word of the day. Like the first time we say Magna Cut in a video, it goes ding, 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 and I tell people what Magna Cut is. No.
That sounds like more work for me.
Not me, though. No, we don't have to do that. Magna Cut is A stainless steel with edge retention similar to something like S35VN or perhaps even a little bit better sometimes, but a lot more toughness, which is something that a stainless steel is not supposed to be able to do, but ever since MagnaCut was invented, it's changed the game just a little bit. 4.5-inch blade, drop point, hollow grind on the blade, and it looks like we're about 1/8 of an inch thick there. So it's got some strength there at the spine, but keeping the edge, or thickness behind the edge, a little thinner. Even though this is tactically inspired, be a good hunting knife in general use outdoor profile if you're not doing a lot of like heavy batoning or anything. Hollow grinds aren't typically my favorite grind for that sort of thing. But a good, general purpose game knife. In some ways, it's a little bit more like the classic Mark I knife, the USN Mark I, as opposed to the Mark II, which is the K-bar knife. Similar vibes, anyway. Injection molded. No, not injection molded on the handle. Stacked leather rings with a really nice shape to them. It's not just a simple oval. It is designed to actually sit in the hand without twisting too much, which is quite nice. Butt cap there at the back, single-sided guard here at the front. Overall, just a very cool piece. Sheath is leather, and here it is. Comes with a retention strap on that hooks onto the peg at the front, and the twin holes for the belt loop there, which allow you to lock it around a belt loop in position if you want, or you just use it a little more regularly. And now I'm talking softly again and making some people in the comments upset. I do apologize. Thomas doesn't? What? Next up, we have some new pronghorns from LT Wright Knives. A new batch has come in to include this handle material right here, which we haven't had on pronghorns yet. Now we do. Really great small camping carving knife. Kind of a small puko, essentially. It's going to work really well with its Scandi grind, especially whittling wood. That is what this type of thing is best at. But it's also just a good general purpose companion knife for outdoors use or everyday carry if you're into the Scandi grind. If you're not familiar with the Scandi grind, as opposed to something more conventional, or we think of in this country as conventional, with a ground bevel and then a secondary edge sharpened in, this bevel is itself the edge. It's a big fat edge, basically coming down like a double-planed chisel. And as you would think with the description of chisel, works really well on wood. Have I said it works really well on wood yet?
You would.
I would, so I will. Nice neutral handle too, so it works in any kind of whittling and carving grip you could possibly imagine. $115 for this. It's US made. I know the guys who make this in their small shop in Ohio. It's not as small as it once was anymore. They've been growing, which is cool to see. But they take real great pride in their work. Sealed up with epoxy and pins, so you've got mechanical and chemical adhesion for the handles. No hot spots, even with the twisted finish on this black and orange G10 handle. Just feels great. And of course it comes with a JRE Industries leather sheath, just like pretty much every LT Wright out there. Standard curved bottom, pocketed bushcraft style sheath. Next up, we've got another kind of outdoors inspired profile, but done in a more EDC type of vein. Folks, I love a Nessmuck style blade.
No kidding.
Which is why I've always loved the Yenzanso designed Zero, built by Fox Knives here. It's not a like strictly traditional interpretation of the Nessmuck shape, but it's a shape I really like going on here. Blade 2 3/4 of an inch long. It's B-cut stainless steel, good basic stuff. High flat grind. In fact, almost a full flat. Actually, is it a full flat? It is indeed a full flat. The light reflections here were throwing me off a little bit. Full flat grind with a swedge here on the hump, which looks quite nice. Standard grip here. We've got injection molded handle scales. 3 of my fingers fit in this middle section between the beaks quite comfortably, and then I've got awesome pinky finger control on the pommel of that knife there. Makes it really nice for manipulating, twisting, and turning like that. I always like being able to actuate the pinky like so. We've got a deep carry clip with the same coyote finish as the blade and the mid-mounted lockback, and it is reversible for left or right carry. Full knife is a nicely ambidextrous design overall with its ambidextrous controls. Really satisfying closed profile too, as you can see right there, and opens very easily, if deliberately, with the thumb cut out right there. Deliberately, of course, because we are dealing with a more traditional lockback style design. Time proven, of course, and just such a cool shape, right? Right? You're nodding with me, right?
It's a fold muck.
It's a fold muck. There's a few cool folding mucks out there. I hope there's more in the future. We'll see how that goes. Let's keep the traditional outdoorsy vibes going. A new Seahorse Whittler from Case. I am really happy that we've got more Seahorse Whittlers out this year. For a while there, they seemed pretty scarce. They weren't around as much, it seemed. And I like the pattern, and I'll tell you more about why in just a minute. $97 for this one. You've got green words, blue
color,
blue jigged bone with the red case shield, and it is got a split leaf spring or split back spring on this. Two of the springs, each spring has its own small blade on one end, a coping and a pen blade, and both springs back up the large Wharncliffe blade. Case's True Sharp stainless going on here. The reason why I like this in particular is the Wharncliffe blade on the Seahorse Whittler is, in terms of like regular production pocket knives in the world today, this is like a link back to the way the original Wharncliffe blade was described, both in its shape and its purpose. It was, of course, named for the Lord Wharncliffe. We had his whole name at one point. It's like Archibald Tybalt thing, Archbishop, blah, 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 somebody, Lord Wharncliffe. The Right Honorable, probably. I'm sure we've written it right here at this point. But it was described as this exact shape and designed to have a thicker spine. And that's something you see here that, this is thicker than most traditional slip joints would ever be. And it was designed for carving wood, for whittling. So this right here, this is kind of where it all began. All the Wharncliffe stuff we talk about today, completely straight edge, the long taper towards a narrow tip, and the thicker spine, which is something that's not always translated through to modern Wharncliffe interpretations because, frankly, it's not always as necessary nowadays, but it's cool to think about where it came from. And it's cool to be able to purchase where it came from in a way too. So that's cool. Next up, another slip joint. We've got the RoseCraft Otter Creek Barlow. The fit and finish on these is truly excellent. RoseCraft is doing a great job there. $77 for this. We've got red deer stag antler handles. Price on this is about $77. You've got a 2.85 inch D2 blade offering you real good edge retention for a classic slip joint like this. The long bolster, which is characteristic of Barlow designs, has an otter print on it. Otter Creek Barlow after all, and red stag handles, and really nicely matched on this particular example too. Really cool. Again, natural material, each one is going to be different. The grind on the blade itself is very precise, full flat, and the snap is quite good as well. Again, they're doing just a really good job. And if you want really high fit and finish on your traditional slip joints, you can get them at a pretty decent price with any RoseCraft slip joint. But this is the one I'm showing you today. Talking about good, basic general pocket knives like these slip joints here. The Knafs Lander series, specifically the Lander 1 and Lander 3, which are this size and shape, really are kind of like what I think of as modern versions of just a pocket knife. And again, I mean that in a pretty complimentary way. This is just a pocket knife. And we've got a cool new version of it right here. It's not to say it's boring. We've got the fast swappable scales, of course, and this version comes with Timberline printed G10 handles. Really cool outdoorsy themed looking blade. 2 3/4 inch S35 VN is the blade, not the handle, which I just called a blade a moment ago. Apologies. Don't correct me in the comments. I've already got there.
Go ahead and correct me.
Fine. Do whatever you want.
It's engagement.
The Lander 3 is made for Knafs by Kaiser, and it uses their clutch lock version of a crossbar lock, which means the tension is actually adjustable. You can move the endpoint of the springs around to give you more or less tension. But as always, right out of the box, I think they feel pretty dang great. Ambidextrous, finger-safe closing, flicky friendly, as you can see. Good drop point shape for general / generic use, with a slightly higher than saber height flat grind going on, black stone washed finish, neutral adaptable handle that happens to look very good and comes with that reversible deep carry pocket clip, blockout plate, and flush mount screws on the other side to keep that end looking nice. It's a great basic pocket knife, you guys. Price on this is about $140. All right, last but not least, we've got two knives here, occupying very different ranges of the price spectrum. Two button locking knives, so you've got finger safe closing action. Two knives with sort of a wheel style of flipper deployment, as you can see right here. Let's look at the expensive one first. This is a Rod Olson Custom JV Microburst, coming in at $795 right now. Now, that is a lot of money, but this is a true one-off custom knife right here. The shape or the design, however, you can get it for as little as about $119 right now. We have some Beg Knives production versions of this in stock right now. So we'll make sure to link to all the Microbursts that you can get your hands on right now. But this one is the custom. We've got a RWL 34 blade, which is analogous to CPM 154, with a, Thomas, what do you want to call that?
Dagger.
Dagger Pro. You're just trolling me now. Thomas would call that a reverse Tonto, and you probably could. Our website says Warncliffe. Take your pick on how you would like to describe it yourself. Really nicely finished, hollow grinds, satin finish on the flats. The materials here are also just out of this world. We've got Damascus for this very intricate, spacer or pivot surround right here. The handles may look like wood, but that's actually carbon fiber or light fat carbon for the specific minded there. It's just kind of milled end grain, and it reveals this almost like a dark ironwood type of texture to it, which is really cool. But move it around the light, you can see a little bit of shimmer going on, which is really cool. Check out that backspacer too. How cool is that? Damascus clip as well, and the button lock giving you that finger safe closing. You could of course flick the blade open if you wish, which is about 2 1/4 inches long, I should say, or you can use the flipper ridge here, giving you that kind of wheeled flipper action to open. Very, very cool. If your budget is not in the $795 or even $120-ish range, we have the REVO Knives Spirit right here, coming in about $84. It's got a sub 2-inch blade with that wheel style of flipper for opening. 14C28N is the blade steel. It's a good stainless with very high toughness, similar to Nitro V, and pretty decent edge retention as well. Handles are aluminum with carbon fiber onlays and a simple post for a button. It doesn't really flick closed super well, and it doesn't really flick out super well if that's what you like your button locks to do. So keep that in mind. This is pretty much a strict, wheel opener, wheel flipper right here. Let me try to do the lighter flick. You can, it's a little tricky because we don't have a pocket clip here. The standard flick with your index finger is going to work a bit better. Just a good small package opening type of everyday pocket knife here. While there is no clip, we do have this fold out keychain post, however. So if you wanted to throw that on a key ring with your other stuff, it's a good unobtrusive and a non-shouty shape for that type of use. And you could use that to do it. I would say it looks almost like a USB thumb drive, but people don't even carry USB thumb drives around anymore. Not really, so.
Put them on the cloud.
Everything's on the cloud. Better look out before it stops raining. Anyway, that's all we have for today, folks. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. And if you want to see even more new knives throughout this weekend, make sure to keep checking out the channel here for our Blade Show coverage starting tomorrow, Friday, whatever the day is.
Tomorrow.
Check us out all weekend. We'll be bringing you some cool new stuff from the Blade Show in Atlanta. In the meantime, however, if you want to get your hands on any of these knives, check out the links in the description to take you to KnifeCenter.com. And for some of these more expensive knives, you can break up your payment chunks into more manageable pieces thanks to our new Sezzle payment options. And don't forget about our Knife Rewards program either, so you can earn some free money on a future knife. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center. It's Thomas behind the camera, and we're signing off. See you next time.